Hello, and welcome to the GU975 presentation of the Carnegie calculator. Today we are going to walk through the purpose and use of one of our required tools of the trade for curriculum design. As we work to create content for our course, we need to take a look at not only the rigor of that content, but the time required by the student to work through it. At the university level, we measure the time using the Carnegie unit, also known as the credit hour. The Carnegie unit was created to set a standard level of expectation that can be applied across educational institutions and used to compare courses from one to another. And now for a math problem, or maybe something closer to a mathematical generalization. One Carnegie unit, or credit hour, is equal to 45 hours of time spent on or in a given course. Therefore, for a standard 3-credit hour class, students are expected to spend approximately 11 to 12 hours in preparation and 5 to 6 hours engaging in the course per week, for a total of 8 weeks. So here are some not-so-rhetorical questions. Grab a pen and paper or open a notepad file on your desktop and answer these questions. Don't worry, I'll wait. If you need more time, please feel free to pause the video at any time. Question 1. What is the credit hour requirement for your current course revision? This information should be provided in the course catalog or on the contract agreement. Question 2. How many total hours of time on task does that equate to for the student? Remember, each credit hour should equal 45 hours of time on task. Question 3. Approximately how many preparation hours should you include? This number should equate to approximately 2/3 of your total hours on task. And question 4. What about engagement hours? This number should include the remaining 1/3 of hours on task. Got your answers? Great. Let's talk about how to fill that time. Preparation activities vary, but include reading, hearing, watching, researching, and investigating. In an online classroom, some preparation occurs in the online environment and some offline. For example, a video lecture housed in the online classroom and readings from the course textbook would both be considered preparation activities. Studying for an exam or quiz would also fall under this category. What are some other ways we can ask students to academically prepare? Okay, pull out your pen and paper again. I want you to brainstorm at least 3 preparation activities you want to use in your current course revision. Do not include textbook reading or reading written lectures, as these are traditional techniques and do not require much creativity on the part of the course creator. Do you have your 3 ideas penned? If not, please pause the video and complete this task before moving on. Engagement activities include collaboration, sharing, performing, and doing. During the engagement hours for the week, a student is actively applying knowledge they gleaned during the preparation period. They may be participating in an online discussion forum, creating a project or presentation, or taking an exam. What are some creative ways you can ask a student to engage with the course content? Okay, time for more brainstorming. I want you to brainstorm at least 3 engagement activities you want to use in your current course revision. This time, do not include research papers or multiple choice or true-false exams. Do you have your 3 ideas? If not, please pause the video again to complete the task before moving on. Estimating the time it takes a student to complete a given task is often difficult, so for many tasks we have provided you with some average calculations. For example, the average student can read 27 pages of lecture or text, or 100 slides of a PowerPoint presentation in 1 hour. These types of calculations are embedded in our Carnegie table. For other certain items, completion of a mathematical computation, for example, we ask that you estimate the amount of time you believe it will take the average student to complete the task. When making your estimations, please keep in mind the entire amount of time it will take, including whether or not the student will need to research or reference additional information to complete the problem. This is our Carnegie table. If you open the table that has been provided to you by your instructional designer, you will see that there are 3 tabs along the bottom. One says Overall, one says Weekly, and one says Data Input. You want to click on the Data Input tab to open the portion of the calculator that you will be entering information into. This is the Carnegie table as was described in the previous slide. As you can see, there are different types of academic engagement listed over on the left-hand side, along with different types of preparation activities. At the bottom will be a totals column. Across, you will see each week listed at the top, and the totals then again along the right-hand side. And if you look, you can see on the right, those totals are going to be for each activity. Along the bottom, they're going to be for the week that you are entering the information for, and then the very bottom will be the totals for the entire class as a whole. The credit hour equivalent area is what you really want to focus on at the end of the course. This should be the 1 credit hour, 3 credit hour, 4 credit hour that you have been given as a requirement for your course. Now, as we scroll up, let's try entering some information into this table. First of all, Grantham courses typically have 1 discussion per week, and that automatically equates to 1 hour of discussion forum writing per week, so we'll add that in, and 1 hour for responding per week, so we'll add that in. As you can see, it tells you that it's 1 hour per week. We also assume that there would be some sort of midterm or final, just for the sake of this walkthrough. And as you can see, it says midterm or final actual testing. It's 2 hours per test. So we're going to go to week 4 and put in 2 hours for a midterm, and week 8 and put in 2 hours for final. You will also see some preparation activities listed below for a midterm and a final. According to this chart, a midterm or final requires 3 hours per test for studying. So we're going to put 3 hours in week 4 and 3 hours in week 8. That way they're prepared for their final. Now, let's go back up to academic engagement. You'll see across the top it says Reading Instructor Feedback. This is calculated currently as the number of assignments. So you just need to add how many assignments they're going to be reading feedback for from the previous week. For this reason, week 1 won't have any. Week 2 will likely have 2, let's say, for a discussion and an assignment. Week 3, 2 for a discussion and assignment. Week 4, 2 for a discussion and assignment. Week 5 will say they have 3, a discussion, an assignment, and their midterm. Week 6, 2, Week 7, 2, Week 8, 2. And there won't be any way to read the feedback for week 8 itself because that'll be after the course is closed. So that's not calculated here. We're going to imagine that you've done a slideshow, which is PowerPoint slides. Let's say you've done approximately 15 slides per week. We'll add those in just so you can see what's happening. Over in the totals category, you're seeing the number of hours add up. And that's based on a calculation of 100 slides per hour that a student can read. So 15 slides obviously is not going to be a full hour's worth of work, a total for the entire course of only 1.2 hours of reading slides. We're also going to assume you wrote a couple pages of lecture per week, so let's say 2 to 3 pages per week. We'll add those in. And let's see, maybe you had them watch a couple of videos. We'll say you had maybe 8 minutes of video in the first week. In the third week, you had them watch a 15-minute video. Maybe in week 5, it was a 5-minute. Week 7 was a 4-minute. And week 8, you had a decently long video, we'll say 20 minutes. These videos could be something you created, or they could be something that you're linking to within the course, but it is calculated by the number of minutes. Let's go ahead and scan down then to the preparation side. And we're going to first add in textbook reading. So let's estimate 75 pages a week for textbook reading. This is going to vary, obviously, depending on what kind of textbook you have, how many chapters you're assigning, that sort of thing. And I do want to show you a couple of different things here. Case studies are calculated by the number of pages. It takes, according to this, 3 hours per page to write a case study. Research papers are the same, calculated at 3 hours per page. And reflection papers are calculated at 1 hour per page. So when you're looking at, I believe journaling is hours per week. They want you to add 1 hour per week for journaling if you use journaling. Clinical lab hours, how many hours? This is where we just ask you to estimate how many hours it's going to take for them to complete a lab. And then some of these other ones are similar, where you're seeing how many hours per week you think they will spend doing these various items. So we're going to put some calculations in here. We're going to say they started out with a research paper in week 1, but it was short, only 2 pages. Week 2, it got a little longer, maybe 3 pages. Week 3, we wanted them to do a case study, and that took another 3 pages. Week 4, a 3-page paper. Week 5, a 4-page paper. Week 6, they have another case study, we'll say 3 pages. Week 7, 2-page paper. And week 8, instead of a paper, we're going to say that they were preparing for a presentation. And that's going to have taken them how many minutes? Let's say 45 minutes for that. Actually, it looks like that is calculating the amount of minutes of the presentation, not the amount of minutes of preparation, so we're going to change that. It looks like we had them do a 10-minute presentation, so that's a 1 hour of preparation. You can also see down here, if you add other quizzes or exams, those will come across as well. Now, just to give you an idea, this may look like a lot of work when you're putting it in the table, but as you look across the bottom, we're not really hitting our approximate 16 plus hours a week of work, except for a couple of weeks, and you can see that week 4 is actually quite heavy in comparison to the other weeks. This is where you can see balance in your class. Also, you see the academic engagement hours look great. They're very, very close. I'm sorry, they're not great. I saw 45, not 25. We're about 20 minutes short there. And preparation hours were a little short as well. So your total combined hours is currently 114, and for a 3 credit hour class, you've only got about 2.5 credit hours of work here. So this is why it's important to put this information in early and test your class out to see if you need to add or remove information or change your balance between academic preparation or academic engagement. If you have questions about how to fill out this table, please talk to your instructional designer. They can definitely help you with this. Once you have created the course content for a given week, you can enter the information, such as page numbers, number of required pages for a research paper, or length of a video, into the Carnegie table and check to make sure we are meeting the time requirement for the course. This is a good thing to check on early in the process in case alterations need to be made to increase or decrease content. It also helps us check the balance of a given week of instruction and tasks. Are we providing the proper ratio of preparation to engagement for a given week? How much of a student's preparation time is spent doing a single task? Carnegie unit information is provided to our students in the course syllabus to aid in their time management and is also provided to our accrediting body. If you have any questions or concerns about how to calculate the number of hours needed for content in your course, please discuss them with your instructional designer.